Good morning from beautiful Reno. I am on my summer vacation and I had rum last night for the first time in months. I always know I had a few too many drinks when I wake up at around 7 a.m. and I feel like going on a 5 mile run. However, now it's 10 and I feel completely nauseous and I've made my boyfriend order me a mimosa. So here we go. Oh. On top of all this, I'm supposed to meet up with my cousin, who I haven't seen in months, today for lunch. So time is upon me, as well as these designer bags. Do you see these? I mean, it's just, the whole thing's a mess. I was in the casino last night, people are blowing cigarette smoke in my face, and I don't have any color correcting equipment. I left it all at home, as well as a bunch of staples that I usually use. I left in a rush, so there's no brow gel in my kit at all. So I did find this guy. So it's Musely's Bye Bye Eye Bags, and it's supposed to help brighten your under eye circles. And it's also supposed to counteract signs of environmental damage. So I'm kind of going to put this on, I think, and sort of probably go get coffee and leave it on for a few hours before I put my makeup on and just kind of try to chill and fight this off before I have to act normal at lunch and see if it'll kind of help. So it says just to put it on. You can actually wear it overnight, which is really cool. I wish I would have put this on last night and woke up this morning and not looked like this. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna put this back so it doesn't get in the way of my so it doesn't get in the way of my face. Oh god. Alright, so I'm just gonna put a serum on really quick. This is my favorite serum I've been using. It's just basically really pure rosehip seed oil, and my hands and my face have just been washed, so I'm just gonna put it on. And then I always love using some rose water just to make sure that my serum really sinks into my skin. Oh, it's so good. It really helps your serum like sink in there. So this thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of using this as the base for my makeup. I'm gonna take these guys and you guys, I'm left-handed. I honestly can't do things that normal people do. It takes me like, so, ooh, look at it. It has like really cool gel on it. Can you see that? Oh, okay, so I'm just gonna, oh, okay, so you peel this off. Let me put it under your eyes. Like that. Ooh, it's really like cooling and really nice. So you peel off the back. Oh, it feels so good. I normally ice my eyes like first thing in the morning just to kind of get everything going, and this feels just like that. It feels like, but not like as harsh. It feels really gentle, kind of like when you put aloe on your skin. I really like it. All right, I'm gonna go get coffee and let this sit, and then I'm gonna rub the extra serum into my face before I do my makeup. Welcome back. So I kind of went downstairs, I got a coffee, and yes, I did go like this. I don't really care. I came back, I napped, and now I'm up, and I'm hungry, and I'm ready to do my makeup for you guys. So these have been on. Let's see. Oh. So they were really comfy to sleep in and stuff. I didn't even notice they were there after a while, so that was kind of cool. And I don't know if you guys saw it in the first shot, but do you see how there's so much kind of like gel on there? That's the stuff that, with all the active ingredients, and there's not that much excess product on my skin, so when it comes off, it does feel really
I don't mean
dry.
dry. I
So
mean
I'm
it
just
was
gonna
just
use
well
spritz and
absorbed
start
into
doing
my
my
skin,
makeup.
so there wasn't a lot of
I'm
product
kind of starting
left.
my
But
makeup
as you'll
on
see, it actually did help my
sort of
makeup
do
come out a
canvas,
lot smoother.
so that way my skin can kind of absorb product. I'm not going to use a primer today. So I'm going to be outside today, so I'm going to mix a few foundations. I'm going to be using this True Match in the shade, I think it's, I want to say it's Sun Beige. And then I'm going to mix this Make Up Forever luminizer with it, sort of on the back of my hand, just like this. And I'm going to mix it, and oh, my phone's going. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to mix it, And I already feel like my skin looks a lot more hydrated and better than it did this morning. I feel like some of the color has even come back. So I'm going to dot this on areas of my face that are darker, areas that I'm not really trying to highlight, but more create a more sort of sculpted look. And as it'll blend, you'll see that it'll blend a lot more, sort of more sheer and add kind of a nice luminescence to my skin. And then I'm taking my Becca foundation and I'm just going to go ahead and mix it on my face. You only need a few drops of this, and it's just going to help bring everything together. And I'm going to blend it out with my Sephora sponge and just really gently pat it into my skin. I wet the sponge before. And just want to make sure when you're blending that you kind of just roll it over all the parts of your face and make sure that you really blend into your neck. When you're using a foundation that's a little darker than your natural skin color, you just want to make sure that it's really seamlessly blended. There's no harsh lines, especially in the winter. I know I've been guilty of this. You're using a darker foundation and everybody can tell. And then, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but I actually have a very freckly face. It's weird. I only have freckles on my face. And so throughout the years doing my makeup, what I've found is that the key to having freckles on your face and making your face not look so cakey is to use sort of a really light finish of a foundation, something that's not going to cover your freckles, and actually use a high coverage concealer. So that's a trick that I like to use. All right, so I'm going to take my rose water spray. Here we go again, just to make sure it's all blended. I was using 2 shades, so I want to make sure there's no lines, that everything looks pretty seamless. And so now I'm going to grab my concealer. This is Parfait, and it's the Sephora Under Eye brand, but I've always used it all over my face. I love it. So I'm going to just go under my eyes. So I use this to basically create more dimension in my face. So chin, places where the light will naturally hit, down the bridge of my nose really lightly, upper lip, and then any excess, I just want to make sure I'm sort of dotting on. So I kind of like to do it with my finger just to make sure I don't lose a lot of product down the sides of my nose. And then I'll go back in with my sponge to make sure, even sometimes I'll go like this, because that's where I'm going to do a little highlighter later, kind of do like a C. And then I'll start just gently really patting. I like using this little flat edge right here, just to start blending. So when you're doing foundation like this with a lot of different steps, you really want to make sure that, first of all, you're really pressing it into your skin so the product melts in. And you're going to see in a second, I'm going to bake my face, but I'm already noticing that blending the product into my under eye area, I don't know if you can see it because it's not very well blended yet, but just by using that under eye mask, it really hydrated under my eyes. So I don't have really any of the fine lines that I normally have. I'm 24, so I already started getting them. It's kind of weird, but I'm going to inflate my face, really go into my smile lines, and I'm going to use the heel of my sponge just to pat here. So I am going to do I'm going to do my cream contour routine for you guys today. I have a darker stick foundation, and I'm going to put it at the top of my forehead. Sometimes I just use powder, but days like today where I need my makeup to stay longer, or even if you're going out at night, this really does help. So I just really like to make sure I get as close to my hairline as possible because we're going to blend it in. And I'm going to do the sides of my nose. Just like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have a bump on my nose because I broke it when I was really little. So I like to kind of make sure that I sort of start blending my product in a little bit to take away from that bump on my nose. Just because I have it wider right here, it's always made me really self-conscious. So the line I naturally will draw will kind of flare out right there. So instead of it going out, I like to make sure it goes in. I'm going to cut off my nose right here. Put a little bit right in the center of my Cupid's bow because we just highlighted that area, so I'm adding that dimension back. And then a little bit around my mouth just to make sure that my lips look like they're really protruding. So this is kind of tricky to blend out. I really like using the heat from my fingers if it's not blending properly. And if it looks a little muddy right now, it's going to be fine because you'll see I'm going to go back and buff it all so it all goes together. So the thing with cream contour is it is a lot of product, but I like how it looks natural. And you really have to be careful. Like, you see how I'm pulling back my hair? I'm actually putting it back into my hairline. And everything you touch with your cream contour, we're going to go back and set it so that way it doesn't move around. One of the dangers with using product, not the dangers, but I'm sounding like it's so serious, but one of the things about using products that are a creamy consistency on your skin is that if you do not set them, they will move around throughout the day, and you can't really expect them to last as much as you would if you just used a really fine powder. So my cheekbones are always a little interesting to do here. I'm always on the hunt for something that will give me a really good cream contour. So if anybody has any suggestions, please let me know. Because I've been struggling with this one for a while. But I do like that it does blend out, but it still kind of has that line. Depending on what I want my face shape to look like, sometimes I'll bring the lines down a little further and even down here to kind of make it look like I cut it off. But today I'm going out. It's the middle of the day. There's no need. Do my double chin. I'm going to... My nose is really tricky. Let me do my mouth first so I can show you how I do my nose. So I'm just patting, and then if I see it's not blending, I'll kind of do like a little swivel. And when you're blending, also we all have really fine hairs on our face, so just kind of make sure you're doing it in a down motion so you don't, if you have peach fuzz, you're not really riling it up. So, okay, I'm just going to take my concealer one more time and take a very small amount of product and just kind of line it on the sides of where I put my contour. That way it will actually help to blend it out. And I'm just going to take this and very, very lightly roll it. So, just like this. So that light product, I'm going to roll it on and then sort of dust it. So roll, pat, roll, pat. Just want to make sure I get rid of that bump on my nose today. I don't want that today. Some days I'm fine with it. Today I'm not. And the kind of nice thing about this under eye concealer is that it does help brighten, but you can still see I have freckles. And that's what I really like about it. And then this is going to be accentuated too when I go back and set. So I think we're looking pretty good. I'm going to grab this brush and just really quickly do big circular motions all over. And just really make sure everything looks the best it's going to look before I give it another spray and then go back in to set it. I'm really interested to see how the under eye mask is going to help after I put powder under my eyes. I wonder if it's still going to kind of give me a hard time. Spraying again. Just want to make sure I'm well blended, guys. Alright, so now I'm going to go back in, I'm going to bake. I don't know why this powder doesn't get the attention it deserves. It's the Smooth Operator 12-hour powder, and I see everybody using Laura Mercier or Kat Von D, but I've always used this, and I absolutely it. Like, I actually love it. Do you see how fine the powder is? So I'm going to get a normal sponge, just dip it in, make sure it's really smooth, and then I'm just going to put it over all the places where I just kind of, you don't need a ton of powder for this. I don't like using a ton of powder, so all the places that I put my concealer, or my highlight in this case, I'm going to let set for a few minutes while I do my under eye makeup. Let's see, where else do I put it? Right here. Any excess, I'm just going to tap it onto my chin. Over here. I love doing the top of my forehead. Hopefully we can pull in some of those lines going on there. Then a little bit down my nose. I don't like using a lot of powder on my nose because I like a natural finish. I really don't like matte skin. I think it can look a little ashy if you're not careful. Alright, so that's what I'm going to bake. I'm going to leave that for about 5 minutes while I start doing my other stuff. I'm using my Anastasia contour kit to just set all the places where I use my cream contour. So I'm using these two shades right here. I'm going to go in on my forehead. I'm using this grayish color, and I'm going to mix it with this darker bronze to really get where I got the contour. So you can be really gentle about it. And then my jawline. A double chin, of course. And then I like getting a bronzer. This one right here. And just doing the lines of my neck. I also too just like to grab the lighter bronzer and really just blend it in with the contour right now, just so it's not as harsh. And then I'm going to grab a crease brush. I'm gonna get the coolest color on this brush, and I'm kind of gonna move that powder aside, and I'm going to do the lines of my nose. I'm gonna redo this once we do the eye makeup and once I get the powder away, but for now I just want to make sure that that nose contour doesn't go anywhere. Alright, so I think that's good for now. We're going to go back and reblend this because I'm weird and I can't unblend to save my life. But let me go in really quickly actually and do brows. I'm using my Chanel pencil, and I usually use this with my brow gel, but I don't have it. It's at home and I'm on vacation, so I'm just kind of gonna lightly fill in my brows just to get some uniformity going. I've been trying to grow them out so they are a little more full because I tried to wax them for years to try to get a natural arch, and it just isn't happening for me. I have very straight brows. All my dad's family has very straight brows, so I'm just trying to rock it now. Just kind of making sure I have a little more definition in my brow. And then my favorite, I'm going to prime my eyes really lightly. I don't like a lot of product on my eyes, especially during the day. I have a really bad habit of kind of rubbing my eyes when I get stressed, but I'm just going to do a few dots of Primer Potion in Eden. I love this stuff. Just because I have natural pigment to my eyes, and sometimes if I run out of time, this will just be enough just to kind of lighten up my whole eye. Sometimes I don't even wear eyeshadow on top of it, but I also like it because it brings out a lot of the natural colors of the eyeshadow. And I bring it up to my brow bone just because it helps the natural highlight later. Just really gently pat it in. All right. If you only want to own one eyeshadow palette, I recommend this one. I've had it for so long. I think I've had this for at least a year, and all the shadows are still there. This is Modern Renaissance, and I love it. Even the brush is good. So I'm going to do a really simple eye today. Something kind of just neutral. Let's see. I'm probably going to do like a brownish reddish lip. So I'm going to put Golden Ochre. This one. I don't know if you can see it. I'm just going to use it to kind of highlight my crease. And I'm just going to bring it over just really lightly to create a color wash. Let's do it the other side. I don't really have a natural crease. I have really hooded eyes, so I like to be able to highlight my eye a little bit above where my crease is just to create a little more depth. I'm actually going to carve it out right now just to make my eyes look a little bigger. I'm going to take this little brush right here. I'm going to dip it into Warm Taupe or Burnt Orange. I think I'm going to start with Burnt Orange, and then I'll go back with Warm Taupe to try to take a little bit of that warmth out. So the first place you put your brush is going to be the most pigmented color you're going to get. And you see how I kind of have this line on my eye right here? I always follow this to do a crease. So I want it to be darkest right here. And I'm just really lightly dragging that in. Do it on the other side. I'm going to go back and blend it out. Come on here. Just really lightly. Alright, gonna go back in. And I don't really want to create a wash with this. I want to keep some of the color. So I'm using little baby circles just to go in. And the thing I love about these shadows is you barely have to touch them and they'll just start blending. It's sort of like the work is done for you. Like, look at that. It's already blended. So let's see. Just want to blend in. And then I'm going to take it back out because I don't want like a hard line in my eyeshadow today. If you wanted to keep it darker, I would say to keep blending in or out to in and keep doing that. But I'm going back and forth because I'm just kind of trying to wash the color out a little bit more while still keeping sort of that pronounced line to keep my crease. All right, so now I'm going to go back in with this and with warm taupe. I want to make it a little more brown. My eyes are kind of green, so browns are really good for me. And I'm going back in and putting emphasis right here on the outer V of my eye and sort of dragging it midway into my crease. Just to add a little bit more definition. It's going to be a really simple eye. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flatter side of the brush and I'm going to go into Vermeer and I'm going to carve out my actual lid. So I'm going to start at the beginning and really just tap on that color. I'm going to put some of my tear duct to open up my eye. That way when the light hits, you get a little pop. And the thing I love about the primer potion is that it's light and you don't feel it on your eyes, but it also makes your eyeshadow stay. It's sticky enough where you don't have to really worry about fallout. It's great. Look how sparkly it is. I love it. Okay, where's my crease? Where's my crease brush? Okay, I'm gonna take this crease brush one more time, and I like my eyeshadow, but I want it to sort of go in a little bit more. So I'm going to, I think actually take the burnt orange once more with my crease brush, just very, very lightly, and really just blend in the top of my crease. And this is also going to help the sparkles blend into my crease too, so it doesn't look so like separated. I kind of like having that depth like from here to here in my eye because I don't really naturally have that. And then just to add a tiny bit more dimension, I'm going to go back in with my angled brush right here. And, you know, I think I'm going to go into Antique Bronze really, really lightly and with a really light hand and just do one of these. Just do outer V right here. Just the outer part of the eye. Just to get a little pop. And see how that brings my eye a little more forward? Yeah, that's what I needed. Just a little bit right here. Just sort of drag it in. And then once more. And I kind of want this to stay put. So I'm just focusing on blending it into the corner of my eye where I want it. Blending can be so hard sometimes. It's sort of not till I actually take a step back that I'm like, okay, it finally looks okay. All right, I'm gonna go back in with the highlighter later because I just want a little more sparkle for this beautiful summer day. Just really making sure it's blended, no harsh lines. Okay, and then actually if you're having a hard time blending it, just take your blending brush and super lightly, maybe like just a little flick of product on there, and that'll help you. There we go. Love it. And I really like these colors because it has a warm undertone, but then going in with the antique bronze allows just enough contrast where you can kind of look at my eyes and the color of my eyes is just a little bit more pronounced. Okay, so this eyelash curler from Sephora. It's brand new and I haven't used it before, so I like to just give my eyelashes a little curl before I do my eyeliner. Okay, let's see. It's kind of weird because it's curved. I haven't seen an eyelash curl like this before, so I want to go with the roots. Huh. It's not bad. Let's see how it does on this one. The tension feels pretty good on it. I've always loved my Shiseido one, but I wanted to give this one a try. Huh. Okay. Not bad. All right, so I also got this new pen. It's felt pen, so I haven't tried this one before either, so see how thin that is? Let's see. Well, so far so good. I love the thin line it's giving me. I always have such a problem with these little guys. It's nice though because you can always go in and redo it with the thickness you want. And then I'm just gonna connect it here. Huh. Alright, I don't know how I feel about this liner. It's definitely not my favorite. It's not giving me the wing shape I want, and it's not super consistent with its form. It's giving me, this is what I didn't want. I didn't want a super dramatic wing, but I guess this is what's happening now. Let me see here. Don't you hate it when one of your eyes always comes out better than the other one, and then you have to go around all day feeling like you have one super funky eye? It's always the worst. Okay, so let's see, watch, this eye's gonna come out better. Always does. Yeah, see, the thing I don't really like about this pen, it's the fact that it's not fluid. If there's a break in your skin or a break in your pressure, it shows in your line. And you have to go back and correct it. Let's see if I try using a light hand. Yeah, this is good if you're like really lightly tracing your eye. I'm gonna have to get the hang of this. It's giving me a little bit of a hard time. How is it? Not the best, not the worst. Sometimes when our cat eyes come out a little weird, we kind of just have to go with it, I think. Plus, mascara always helps. Let's see. I might have to go back in and redo this line, but I'm going to recurl. The thing I do like about this pen is that it feels like it dries really quickly on my eyes. And I appreciate that because that means when I go back and recurl, there's my mascara, that I don't have to deal with it smudging all over. And I like leaving the powder under my eyes while I'm doing my bottom mascara, just because if there's any mascara that gets under my eyes, it does help wipe it away faster. I have kind of long bottom lashes. It's kind of weird. I don't really know why. And some people don't have to curl their eyelashes, and I'm so happy for them, but I'm just one of those people who seriously just needs to curl. My eyelashes are long, but they are flat as a board, man. And it's the worst. It's kind of night and day. If I don't have time to do anything else, I will make sure before I leave the house that I do curl my lashes, because it just makes you look more awake and much more alert, I think, especially if you're going into work or something. Okay, so I might have to go back in and do that line, but first I'm going to wipe this powder away, big fluffy brush, and you're just going to really gently swipe it off. And we're going to do that everywhere. So just really make sure you get the legs of your nose. You can flick it off. What I've been doing is kind of more buffing it into my skin just to really make sure. And actually what I'm noticing is a lot of the time I have a really hard time with baking because I have these really fine lines under my eyes, and the under eye mask totally hydrated it so it doesn't look chalky or cakey or anything. It really actually helped with my lower eye makeup application. Okay, I think I still look a little pale, so I'm going to just really quickly put on a little bit of blush. I'm going to use this brush just because I like kind of patting it on. I really like peachy neutral blushes, and I just tap it just to give you a little bit of a glow, a little bit of something a little pretty on your cheeks. And I need a little bit of it today because I don't have much blood in my face or much of a natural tan. And I like to make sure it goes all the way back. But I do like focusing on the apples of my cheeks, so put it first down on the apples and then draw it out. Okay, so I'm going to do some quick little highlighting. I have this kind of sample size of the Benefit stick highlighter. I don't know what it's called, but I really like it. I like putting it on my Cupid's bow right here, drawing on these lines that we highlighted earlier, and we'll just tap it on. I also love using this on my nose, so I'm going to do a really lightly draw a line up my nose, in the middle of my eyebrows and kind of go out. Just kind of draw it up a little bit. And I like doing a little dot right here, because that's where the light naturally hits it. See? Can you see it? I don't know if you can. Lippies. So I'm going to use Hover by MAC and just go in and line. I like kind of filling in around my lips. I don't know why. I love this color. I'm not much of a nude lip person because I really feel like it washes out your whole face. I've always been more browns. I don't know. I think my mom was sort of a little chola growing up, so she did a lot of like really dark brown lips. And then I'm using Kylie Gloss in Like, and I'm just dabbing in the middle of my lips. Just really like, really sheerly. And then I'm just gonna make sure it's all blended together. And that's about it. I'm going to try to link my products below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend.